Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Paranormal Connections radio show. Myself and Chad, we are back for another Sunday of interesting paranormal discussion. I have to apologize because this is the second time that we've had a guest scheduled and they've had to cancel for an emergency literally 2 hours before the show starts. So most of the time, hey, Caroline, how are you doing? Most of the time, you know, if I have enough time, huh?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I said the most tragic part about this is that you guys are stuck with me twice now.
Oh no, I think we'll be just fine on
Oh,
our
yeah.
own, which is good, which is why I'm glad I got a good co-host. But it's just always hard because we like to get, to have a guest.
Well, yeah.
Actually, our show that we did, just you and I, talking about your experiences and things like that, was actually a very popular episode. So that one did actually really well.
Cool.
Hey, Pat, nice to see you. So, yeah, so, again, hey, Jennifer, we apologize, but we have no control over that. So, emergencies happen, and I've got that, final destination luck. So if it's going to happen, of course it's going to happen, and it's going to happen 2 hours before the show. So we have to brainstorm, figure out what we're going to talk about. Can we find anybody to come on and be a guest? And since there wasn't enough time, we are going to be the guest tonight.
Yeah, something else. We just wing these shows every time. Like I guess some people they rehearse them, come down with a plan and all that. No, we just wing it. So
Yeah,
that's the way we roll. That's the way we roll.
Yeah, personally, I like it that way.
You too.
Just because a lot of the shows do sound very scripted.
They do. And to me, it's more enjoyable when you just wing it too.
Correct. And they're heavily edited as well. So, what you see is what you get. If somebody says something, oh, well, it's what was said. So
the true meaning of live, live. Yep. Organic. What do they call it? Organic? Is that the term they use? Organic.
Is that what they call it? No, I'm not sure.
When people do what we do, they're like, oh, it's organic.
Hey, Lorraine, it's so good to see you. I have some echo for some reason.
Oh, do you? Oh.
Are you guys hearing the echo, or is it just me?
I don't hear anything. No echo on my end, but I wonder if it's mine.
And sorry if you guys are hearing the motorcycles. I was just telling Chad they're having a big spring event right outside of my window. So, okay, they're saying no, that they're not hearing it. Okay, well, that's good then. So tonight, since we were going to have our tarot card reader here, and she was going to be talking about some of her investigations and things like that, we decided that maybe we should just talk about, some of our top scariest locations that we've investigated. As many know, Chad and I both have been in the field for a very long time. So we have lots of investigations under our belt for sure. Yeah, we were just trying to think because it was like last minute and you're trying to figure out like what would be the best. Oh, hold on. Hello, Kelly. So nice to see you. Yeah, so we're trying to figure out, what are our top ones. And I mean, when you've done, hundreds or even thousands of investigations over, 20 years, they just all become kind of mesh. But there's always a few that stand out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's always a few that do.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about those tonight. We're going to talk about Chad's 5 top scariest investigations he's been on. I'll pull my 5. Then we want your guys' help. We'd like to know where you think would be great places for Chad and I.
There you go.
Put on our calendar for this year to put on the bucket list.
Where would you like to see us go?
What?
Yeah, a good one. Good idea.
Well, we've been saying since the beginning of the show that we were going to go ahead and, we're going to hit the road and we're going to start going to some locations. Our guest last week, we're going to actually go out for April. We're actually going to go and visit her out on the East Coast and go visit and investigate out there. Lots of places for us to go for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And Lorraine is from Florida. I absolutely love Lorraine. Lorraine has been a listener and a Facebook friend of mine since before I started the show, to be honest. And she has been so loyal. You know, she always shows up, or she'll watch the listen to the reruns, things like that. And she used to live in, oh, hold on. Oh, she's saying, hold on. She's saying Rose Hole Mansion in Jamaica. Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, she lives in Florida now, and you know, I always tell her I need to come and visit you, but we all know that Florida is my no-go zone because of the alligators, the snakes, and the sharks. So, you know, she, of course, had to pick somewhere where I get eaten 3 different ways.
The wildlife eats you, huh?
Right.
You're on the menu.
All right. And Pat saying anywhere by me, I'm between you and Chad because yeah, Pat is in Oregon as well.
Oh,
So,
right on, right on. What part? We're at in Oregon.
Pat, what part are you in Oregon? Hey, Michelle. Nice to see you, Mish. Love you, love you, love you. And you know, so Michelle, she's part of Investigations, and I've been watching a lot of her stuff. They're up in Nevada in Reno, and they have been investigating recently at the Nevada State Penitentiary.
Oh, nice, nice.
Now, I haven't been up there yet,
That would be
but
good.
I definitely, you know, we talked about you and April actually coming out to Nevada and us all going to Virginia City to investigate. So maybe we could set something up like that where we're there for the penitentiary, the prison, as well as, you know, a couple of the other locations around there. You know me, I like to go, you know, to places that haven't really been over investigated because I like new stuff, you know, so, and I like new places. So I think that it'll be very, very cool.
In my opinion, that's where you get the most interesting activity results is locations like that. All
right. She says that she lives south of Salem.
All right. Okay.
So I am sure I've been out in Oregon to a few places. I'm sure that we could find some good places out there for sure. I actually have a few people who have teams out there too, so I might reach out to them to get us some access. So
that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, there's a lot of places in Oregon. There's a handful that I know of that are awesome. That some of them I haven't gone to yet, and they're supposed to be pretty interesting. Like the Shanghai tunnels would be interesting underneath Portland. I know that it's been done before, but not really been done. You know, it's been like,
well, I don't really. It's not so much if it's been done before. It's just like there's certain places that are just highly sought off and everybody wants to investigate there. Once I investigate a place, unless it's just something that really draws me, I'm looking to go now to a new place.
Right.
So it's just kind of weird with me. So Kelly is saying Eastern Penitentiary would be a good one. So
that would be a good one, Eastern Penitentiary, the infamous Eastern Penitentiary. Yeah, that's actually one of the places that I definitely would like to go. That'd be on the bucket list, definitely.
Yeah, well, I think we might have to put that down for sure.
See what's going on.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Jackie. Hey, Jackie. Nice to see you, love. Jennifer says, I know Christina's favorite place that she investigated was with the Ghost Adventures with Zach. Just kidding. I had to give you a bad time. Well, you would be half right. So the Union Brewery, I will say, because of my experience, is probably my top scariest experiences there, only because my first experience was traumatic. The second one wasn't much better. When I went to go film, that was even worse. And, you know, I go there now, thankfully upstairs in the apartment where the owner's ex-husband had died. You know, originally he jumped into me, as I explained on one of the other shows. And so that was pretty terrifying. But like the second time I came, I like had a conversation with him, and I was like, look, you know, I can see you and I know you can see me and I can hear you. You talk to me. So please, we cannot have no more you running and taking over my body kind of bullshit.
You got to have an understanding, here.
We have to have an understanding. I actually had talked to my friend and I got her. She had a picture of her and him when they were married. I actually had talked to her and she put that back up on the wall and hung it back up. And as soon as she hung it back up, at least the activity upstairs subsided. So I feel like, whenever I go there, like the upstairs is a very different vibe and it seems like he's happy now. And, she's given him some forgiveness. At some point, I will ask if, he wants to cross over. And if he does, I can assist with that. But people always ask me, oh, well, when you can see a spirit and you know that they're stuck, why don't you cross them over whether they want to go or not?
Like it or not, just.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, it is absolutely something that I could do, I guess, if I really wanted to. But my thing is why? I feel like if a spirit comes to me and requests my help, that's what I should do. But if they don't request my help and they're okay with wherever they're at, who am I to say that they have to go? So that's my thing. But I actually found somebody sent me a recommendation for a guest recently, and I'm gonna do a little bit more research. But this lady says that there is no such thing as spirits crossing over. So I would love to
have a chat with her, huh?
Pick her brain on this, because again, it's like everybody has their own opinion, which is completely okay with me. But when people have opinions that differ from me or my experience, for me, I want to pick their brain because I want to know why you feel that way. And it may change my mind, it may not. But I just feel like it's a great topic and a conversation, especially in our field, because there's people who say, oh yes, you should do a cleansing, when you're doing investigations, and cleanse the area with sage. And then other people say, oh, sage isn't going to do anything. And so there's so many varying opinions on everything in this field. I just kind of like to pick apart things and see where people are at. So you guys are
fun part.
But I will say, Jennifer, just get back to you. Union Brewery would be my top place that I've investigated so far. But as we all know too, filming with Ghost Adventures. And I've had a lot of people lately say, oh, Christina, you shouldn't be, out there and saying bad things about Zach because he's such a big person and you'll never get, super high and get on TV. Well, newsflash. I am not interested in being on TV. I had opportunities the last 20 years. I have not taken it, do not care. I only was on that show because of my friend. I kicked myself every time because I knew better. But yeah, I feel the way I feel. And it's not like it's any kind of secret, because anybody who knows me and watches the show, and even Zach knows that we just feel differently about, the paranormal. And I just like to call out the bullshit. And, if that gets me blacklisted, it wouldn't be the first time. But the great thing is nobody can blacklist me on the show. So we'll always have a platform.
All right, there you go. Yeah, it's like, it's that's what makes it no longer a field anymore, is when you have to kiss ass, to certain teams and individuals just because, the whole media thing. I feel the same way. I don't give a crap if I ever get on television or get my 15 minutes. I've had some opportunities, and there were so many politics. You know that a long time ago, I was supposed to be the lead investigator for Ghost Hunters International. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I was
really
that. Yeah, years ago, and because I didn't want to do things their way, well, it didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because I've had lots of opportunities to go on everything, starting from my ghost stories and all those kinds of things to other actual shows that were coming out. And for me, I'm kind of like you. It's like my reputation means everything, so I'm not going to go in and bullshit. I get that people, they always say, oh, well, it's on TV. They know it's, that it's scripted. They know that it's entertainment. But as we know, being in this field, no, they don't. They take that as absolute truth. So you're twisting and changing, the narrative and what we do just for views and to make money.
Mhm.
That's not something I'm interested in.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Ghost Hunter guy or the Ghost Adventure guys, they've made. I'm sure they made a fairly good amount of money over that. How many seasons they got, but it's like, but a lot of these guys, they don't really make that much money. So I mean, are you willing to, you know, sell your soul, your reputation to be on TV? It's just not ever been that important. And if you don't get into this whole thing with the idea that's one of your goals is to get on TV, um, I guess from there was no TV shows
Right.
we started
Right.
doing. So it wasn't like part of the whole uh, you know agenda of getting into it. But
Well, that's why I laugh now, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but it cracks me up now when I see all these new people coming out and they, want to be at events and they're making their banners and it'll say, they've been on Travel Channel and Ghost Adventures and this and all these different places, which they were. I mean, they had an episode in something, but they make it seem as if they're these big celebrities in the paranormal because they've been on these shows. And again, news break, newsflash, anybody can get on a show now. There are so many. Before, they would choose the investigators or the teams they wanted to interview. Now they just put a Facebook post or Instagram post saying, hey, we're looking for paranormal people who want to share their stories, and they're flooded with people.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's all fine and good. The people that they get on TV and stuff. I'm not down on people that get on TV,
No, no, no.
but I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, it's not at the top of the list of important aspects about the field. It's it's one of those things to where that, yeah, definitely, if I never get on TV, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'll,
I'm completely okay. And I mean, I know there are people out there that would love their own show, and I root for them all the time. I support all of my friends and whatever they want to do. It's just for me, it's not because I feel like you really have to compromise
right, and
your
how much of the
integrity.
platform is open to the people cast for the show too? Like, I mean, in my experience, it's the locations, everything involved is not has nothing to do with who's casted. I mean, it's not their idea most of the time. It's not where they want to go, or using their methods that they really uh, you know stand true to. You have somebody tell you what you're going to do most of the time and not going to do. You know. So it's not really an accurate depiction of the people cast for the show most of the time of how they conduct themselves or anything. So it's like
Yeah.
there's that aspect, which and that's one thing that I know that I missed out on more than one opportunity because of that, because I wouldn't change my methods of investigating, or I wouldn't do something on television felt that I felt strongly against not doing. Normally
Right.
it's a factor.
Well, I'm seeing that Pat's saying the Enchanted Forest is supposed to be haunted, according to Zach. She said she's been there hundreds of times and she felt nothing. Have you been there?
I've been there. Yeah, as a kid when it was open, we used to my parents used to take us there all the time. The haunted house that was scary. I remember the haunted house scaring the shit out of me as a kid.
Well, the haunted house, that's the whole purpose, I think, right?
These holographic visual effects, they're pretty good, pretty good.
All right, all right. Let's see. Jackie says Brushy Mountain Prison. I'm not. Where is that, Jackie? I'm not sure.
Idaho.
We're getting a lot of people that are saying, prisons. So that's, definitely.
Prisons are always a popular one.
Yeah, yeah.
That and hospitals.
Jackie was saying the Union Brewery is also her favorite place. Now, Jackie has investigated everywhere internationally. So, she's had a lot of places. And actually, our friend Dawn that owns the Union, that's how I met Dawn, was through Jackie. So she actually had a very similar experience to mine there, and she's investigated there quite a few times as well. Carol Ann says Presidio in San Francisco. I'm sure, when I go to San Francisco, especially in the Presidio area, like there's just, I feel so much everywhere down there. It's just like overwhelming. So, I mean, if we could find like just a place to investigate, that would be great. Cora, hey Cora, it's Pat's friend. It's so nice to see you. Let's see. Pat says, no, the Bayou Mansion. You scared me. Yeah, I was, on my list. The Bayou Mansion is second. You guys are pulling out all the top ones for sure. Yeah, that would definitely be my second one. That was the first time I had ever been had something actually levitate me and throw me across a room in front of a bunch of people. So that definitely sticks up, I would say. Oh, well, looks like we've got some haters already in the room. I don't know if they were here for our guest or if they are here for me. But I welcome them, and I don't care. I welcome hater. And Tarot Destroyer. Oh, I'm kind of thinking it's probably one of our guest haters.
The name kind of gives it away, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, there should not be found among you anyone who uses divination or an enchanter or a witch or a charmer or a consulter with familiar spirits or a wizard. Well,
yep.
Tarot Destroyer, again, everybody has their own opinion. Being a psychic medium myself, that's probably not going to go real far with me. But you're welcome to stick around and listen. Maybe you'll feel differently at the end of the show. Who knows? And if not, I wish you well. Let's see. Oh, and you've just posted too many times, so I'm not going to read all of yours, but okay. Let's see. Tia says, oh, this should be interesting with what they can be crossed over, but I also believe in layers of realms. Oh, yes. Tia, you and I are right on the same page because, again, she's commenting on the fact that we would bring that person who says that, people don't cross over. I do think there's different layers because, again, I have seen, and I probably piss a lot of people when I say a lot of the things I say. I don't per se, although I am very, I would say, spiritual. I also have a Christian, thought process in the background. I do believe in God and Jesus, but do I believe in heaven and hell? I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of people that don't really understand what all the Bible, the symbolism in the Bible, and a lot of the factors that, like hell. Definitely, hell, I think, is a completely and totally made up place. I think we're in hell right now.
I was going to say, I feel like this is more hell than anything else that they've done.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of symbolism. Like the Book of Revelation talks about the lake of fire being a destruction. When things are burnt, they're destroyed. Then and then that's been indoctrinated greatly. Different branches of Christianity, and also it was a scare tactic to keep people from to keep people obedient. Is that you'll go to hell,
Right.
Yeah, so I mean,
well, I also don't know that I believe in purgatory. So
it's the biggest load up, my opinion.
But I do believe that there is kind of like Tia said, that there's different layers.
Right.
Because
right.
I have interacted with spirits who have, people who passed away and then crossed over, and they can seem to come and go as they want. It's just to come and visit, maybe give me a message, thing like that. Then I find a lot of locations that I go to where they had somebody die either very suddenly, very tragically, or by their own hand. And they have some kind of, thought in their head that, if I take my life, I'm probably going to purgatory, but it's just so overwhelming that they still do it. So it doesn't allow them to cross over. So I've seen different scenarios. So again, I guess that's kind of why I'm on the fence with all this stuff.
Somebody paid like $2.5 million for JFK to be prayed out of purgatory pretty late. I mean, if you make money,
Right.
off these, yeah, I mean, more power to you, I guess. But yeah, purgatory is kind of, a lot of these things are indoctrinations, and a lot of them didn't originate with Christianity. A
Yeah,
lot of, like
absolutely.
anybody's religion, you can believe in anything you want, but a lot of the Catholic, and I'm not just insulting Catholics here. There's a lot of indoctrination that didn't come from the biblical text, and so you got to keep that in mind. These people that are referring to the Bible, I think you really got to understand what it means and what they're talking about before you start trolling people.
Well, I've made it very clear to my team and my friends, since they're all investigators, that when it finally is my time, I am not planning. If I have a choice, I am not crossing over. I have a nice little list compiled of people I am going to go and haunt. And when I say I didn't believe in demons, I'm going to make everybody think I'm a demon for sure.
Yeah, going growling and stuff at people.
100%, yes.
Figuring out how to make nasty, foul odors and stuff. Scratching.
I warned everybody, do not try crossing me over. I promise you it will not be a good idea.
Yeah,
hey, Patrick, it's nice to see you. He says he lives in the Sunset District, and he lives in San Francisco as well. Patrick, you're going to have to give me some locations out there that would be cool to check out as well. Here's my friend Jeff, the goat. Hey, Jeff, so nice to see you. It's been a long time. Glad to have you here with us. Stanley's here too. Hey, Stanley, thank you for coming. Jeff says, how are you both doing from Ohio? And we're doing good. We're glad to actually have you on the show. Let's see. Oh, Jackie says that that prison is not too far away from Waverly Hills.
Now that one, that's of course on the list. The infamous Waverly Hills. I gotta check that one out before it's all said and done.
That's probably one of like my top places I want to go to. So, that might have to go on our list for sure.
We'll pick it and put it on the list.
There you go. All right. Jeff said he was once the groundskeeper at the Bel Air House in Ohio. Now, I've heard a lot about the Bel Air House. Jeff, I'd love to invite you on the show to talk to us some night, about your experiences, being a groundskeeper there and, what's going on. I would love to hear that. Melody says Graber Olive House has a creeper, and I got some interesting photos from the encounter from me and my son had there. Interesting. So that was one of my first events that I ever did with Scott Grunwald, and we did it up at the Graber Olive House. And I will tell you, it was definitely an interesting one. I went up in this attic in one of the buildings, and there was this room, and I was picking up on a child who was mentally ill, and I felt like that child was being locked up there and kept up there when he was young. So I did my full reading, and we got a lot of interaction when we were investigating. And after that, the guy that runs the place was there, and so the people I was with were wanting to know how accurate I was. So he was able to validate a lot of places. But I'm with you, Melody. That's like a really, really cool place. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Alan, nice to see you, girlfriend. The unfinished business. Yeah, Tia says, unfinished business when they don't cross over. Yeah, because I'm not finishing no business. What's up, everybody?
We have a lot of business to finish.
Yeah, Tia's going to come along with me. As we're going to go haunt people and have some fun. So let's see. Michelle says, same. I don't hold grudges, but I do have a list. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm petty as hell. I hold grudges, and I do have a list, and I am keeping tallies. And yeah, some is going to happen more than others.
Get even.
Really rad. Oh my gosh, girlfriend. It is so good to see you. Thank you for coming. I have known Judy for probably like 15 years. She lived in California. I met her when I first started investigating, and she founded Elk Grove Paranormal Investigations, and amazing, amazing lady. So good to see you. Michelle says, Christina, I'm in Cali as well. I have a long list of places to investigate. I'll be at Queen Mary on Wednesday. Oh, girl, yes, we need to get together. Not only for the Queen, I would love to go on the Queen Mary. I didn't go there. I have been to San Diego. I went to old San Diego. I had never been there before, but one of my friends took me and we went to the the Whaley House or something? An amazing place. But
I heard it was
the
good.
Queen Mary for sure. Have you ever gone to the Queen Mary or anything like that, Chad?
I have not. I was supposed to at one point in time. I was actually supposed to go take Gene Simmons and his wife through that place a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, at this event, and I wasn't able to go, and I've wanted to go back and check it out. So that's another one that's on the list. See, I never have these locations. Good thing that the audience is bringing them up because I mean, I thought these are definitely ones I would want to go to. That I just have a hard time thinking that condition can't remember shit that.
Right. Well, I think we all have that. So let's see. Tia says, just make sure to ground yourself, hon. You don't want to get too overwhelmed. No, I just, to be honest, like my health got so bad for a while that everybody knows I had to take time off from the show. I took complete time off of investigating. And I'm feeling better now, but we all know, I have an illness that's not going away. So I'm not just going to sit here and lay here and just waste away. I'm going to enjoy every single minute that I possibly can. I'm going to schedule everything that I possibly can. For some reason, if this was my last, year, I'm going to have one hell of a bang going out. And if it's not, then we'll top it next year and we'll just keep going from there. But yeah, I don't even care at this point if investigating makes me sick. Life makes me sick. Stress makes me sick.
There you
go. Investigating is what I love, so that's the less stress in my life.
That, yep.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Lorraine says Ohio has many haunted places, and Jeff says, okay, let me know. That would be great. So yes, I will definitely. Melody says, yes, I was at that StuCon. Oh yeah, well, there you go. We were there together and didn't even know it. Yes. And I love Scott. He's a very good friend of mine. Absolutely.
Did you ever get to do the Wolf Manor? That's another one that I missed out on because they tore it down, but
I did it. I knew everybody that was investigating there. I was investigating so many other places that I never got there, and then they tore it down.
Yeah.
Also the Linda Vista Hospital in LA. I had a whole group of friends that were the ones that were in charge of doing all of the investigations and stuff there. And I kept saying I was going to do it with them too. And then they shut that down. So, I got a connection of somebody who is staying, and I'm trying to get her to come on the show right now. I think I've almost got her convinced, but she lives at the Cecil Hotel.
Ooh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, and it does not surprise me that they still have a lot of craziness, a whole lot of deaths that still happen on a weekly basis there. I mean,
that place is bizarre. That's bizarre. Yeah, I mean, that would be a good one too. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of those places that you just got to go check out, that you want to go check out just to see what's going on.
All right. Well, Patrick says, I think Alcatraz is the most obvious location in San Francisco. No other place in the city could top that. I sensed a demon in one of the solitary cells when I visited there. My favorite aspect about Alcatraz, though, is the Native American ceremonies that they do to commemorate the occupation. Yeah. The only thing is that a long time ago, I know, and I don't know if they've changed it now, but they used to allow investigations on Alcatraz, and then they stopped it. So I don't know. Maybe Patrick, maybe we can find out if they still do them. If so, we could set something up for sure. AD, I love you. You need to find me some haunted places in Hawaii, so when I come to visit you, I'll know where to go.
Good.
Lorraine says old San Diego is fun. Yeah, it was amazing. All right, Michelle, she says, yeah, definitely. Let's do some stuff. I'll message you the pictures I got at the Whaley House and the Horton Grand. I've gotten evidence at both locations. Yeah, that would be amazing. And that, that's a short, less than an hour flight, for me, and probably what, like an hour and a half for you
Yeah.
to San Diego.
Yeah.
Not too far, so we definitely could do that.
If that.
Um, Carol Ann says Queen Mary is a must go. Yeah, for sure. I've always wanted to do that. Good luck, crazy. Okay, yeah. When I go places, they like to wake up too. Add me up for your reading. I'm not sure what that's for. Okay. Jeff, he says, just text me when you want to talk about some stuff. You want to ask me about the Bel Air house. Yeah, I'm gonna contact you and we're gonna set you up to be on the show. Okay, I don't know who Candace is, but she keeps saying everybody add her for a reading. Girlfriend, you're not doing any readings on here, so I don't know why you're here. But okay. I'm gonna learn. That's the one thing I need to check with a few people who use the StreamYard software is how I can block people in chat. Or I'm gonna have to once I find out, I'm gonna have to get some admin so that they can kind of take care of it.
Take care of the chat room.
I mean, personally, I really don't give a shit.
Right.
They can come in and play in there all day. I used to have somebody who would come in. He hated me so much in my show. He showed up every single week and he would spam my chat room with porn.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Live show shut down, demonetized.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that happened.
Loved it. I didn't care. I'm like, spam away. I don't care as long as you don't hack me. I don't care. Michelle says, I hear you, girl. My disabilities make it difficult to get out there, but pain won't ever take over my passion. Yeah, and you know what, Michelle, I've noticed too, there's a lot of us that are in this field that deal with a lot of either chronic autoimmune illnesses. And that'd be something interesting to talk about in the future, is to find somebody to talk about, even though I protect, I do everything, before the investigations. It's rough sometimes. It is draining. You have no idea. So, but yeah, we just keep getting out there and doing it. That's what we love. So, let me see. Oh, she said they're going to rebuild it. I guess the Linda Vista Hospital. So Melody said Linda Vista Hospital. She got her first EVP. Yeah, I so wanted to go to that place. I would love if they rebuild it and open it up. I will be right there.
I didn't know they'd shut it down, or did they tear it down?
I don't know. I just knew that they had shut it down. I don't know what they were going to do with it, actually, to be honest. Michelle says, I made it to the Conjuring house when I went to the Warrens Con last year. Got great pics there as well. Okay, that's something. So have you ever been to the Conjuring house?
Have I? I've been invited out there. Never gone out there though. It seems like it would be interesting to go out there and check it out. Again, it's one of those locations that, I mean, is it overhyped? I mean, because there's the whole movie franchise and all
right.
That. But I mean, I don't doubt it's haunted, without a doubt. But
yeah, I'm sure it is. But again, like you said, I'm very torn because it has been heavily investigated.
Oh yeah,
especially because anything that goes on TV, is
as a movie,
people are going to flock to it. But I'm in a lot of different groups on Facebook and paranormal groups, and I've been seeing a lot of different teams and investigators posting about the Conjuring house and how they're going there and how much it's costing now, and that they're really not getting the evidence that they thought. And I mean,
pretty big.
We're talking about a lot of money.
Pretty big shoes to fill there. I mean, if a location like that, because it's got the movie and all that, based on it, and all the hype and I think people would easily be let down, if nobody got possessed or anything. See, then call Zach for that. He can go in there and get possessed, and like he does on every show. So.
Right. Well, yeah, Michelle, you're going to have to come on the show too, and you're going to have to talk about some of the places and what you got at the Conjuring house, because I mean, again, everybody's experiences are different, and I love to hear other people's experiences because now I used to be a Dawson at Preston Castle. All right, so up in Preston, at the Preston Castle, when I first started going up there, I sensed a lot of things, but nothing was showing to me at all. And I was like, oh, okay. So they just overhyped this, right? Because I was just a Dawson doing the regular, tours there. And the longer I was there, the more I interacted. Eventually, the kids started interacting with me. Now, here we are 15 years later. I go there and I get all kinds of stuff every single time I go there. And there have been actually big shows that have gone to investigate that same castle and may go one time and not get anything, but come 4 months later and they're, shocked at how much stuff they get. So it just depends. Let's see. Michelle says, I want to get into the Linda Vista Hospital, but can't find a contact. Well, I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to get in there. If they're going to rebuild that or we can get in, I'm going to find somebody. She says it's very pricey to get on to Alcatraz. I would not doubt that. And again, although I think it would be a great place, I have been actually to Alcatraz probably 25, 30 times because when I was in elementary school, like that was like the place we went every year. Every year we took the boat from Vallejo to San Francisco, the ferry, and then went to Alcatraz.
Is it really worth? I mean, I guess if you have the money to spend, but is it really worth that much money just to say, "Hey, I've been to this place or that place"? Like some of these high-profile locations.
Oh, hold on, Melody. Melody says they're rebuilding Wolf Manor.
Are they? Right on, right on. Because
that would be a good person to have on too.
Well, I'm real good friends with Todd Wolf. That's somebody we could probably get on the show too. Is Todd Wolf?
Yeah, we should definitely reach out to him for sure. I think that would be interesting. Let's see. This turned into being a question and answer night, but I'm actually enjoying this.
Me too.
Jennifer says, have you ever got to investigate the hospital in California in Jamestown by Sonora? I heard that was really haunted. It's torn down now, unfortunately, because I heard it was really haunted. Yes. We were going to do an event there. We were going to film, and I had to go through the city. I had to go. It was crazy, but we ended up not doing it. It was just going to cost way too much. But yes, it was. That's definitely was an interesting one. Let's see what's Jeff saying. P.S. I was at the Bel Air house watching on a team for my friend. I was sitting on a couch, and it was cold all around my legs, and a candle came on by itself.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's interesting. If it was like a light, I could say, oh, well, there's plenty of reasons that it could set it off. But a candle, that's different for sure.
That's pretty impressive.
Carol Ann says the El Campo Cemetery in Old San Diego. Oh, yeah. The thing is I couldn't understand when I was walking. When I first got to the cemetery, we were walking around because, again, I had never been there before, and my friend just kind of wanted to test me. So she took me there, and we got there, and I got towards the back, and I guess it was where like a lot of children were buried, and it was so overwhelming. I just like burst into tears. I couldn't stop crying, so I had to I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk away to kind of disconnect myself. So I walk down, and I walk out of the cemetery onto the sidewalk, even across the street, only to look down and realize that there are headstones there too. Like they actually built the area over the cemetery. So part of it is preserved and the other part is under the street. So definitely a cool place. Let's see. You will need moderators to deal with the haters. I just have to figure out how to block them on this platform. That's it. And if I can figure that out, then I'll be good to go. But
we're really good trolls, and we can, then
I know I love to have fun with them sometimes. I want to try to get them to come on the screen and talk to me.
Right. Yeah.
And then Jeff said, then the candle went out and the cold went away. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I would. Let's see. Melody says Linda Vista Hospital is now apartments. Oh, that is right. Yes, They made that into senior apartments. And I remember we were talking with the group that used to give the do the investigations there, and we were saying wow, could you imagine being elderly and then going and moving into that place?
Kind of a crappy environment to be in.
I'd say it's kind of like the Cecil Hotel. It's like you got all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, let's just make it into
some.
Yeah, and now it's like
I mean,
low income housing or Section 8 or something.
There are
Now
some
over there.
mean people out there, man. I'm telling you now.
I love you, Cece. Carol I said to that troll person trying to give readings. She says, "I don't need a reading. I read
I should hear
myself."
that
That's
though.
right.
I should go onto a show.
That's right. We don't need readings. Get it right.
I could find a live show, just any show, random show, and start doing that. Just typing in the chat room. Hey, contact me for reading.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some random show. It doesn't have to be paranormal, just some show.
Exactly. Preston Castle, Jackie said, is beyond haunted. And yes, and Jackie has investigated up there tons of times as well. That's why I really want you, when you come out here, for that to be one of the places that we go. Maybe we'll do Nevada first, then we'll drive back out here to California. And then from here, we could fly to San Diego.
That would be sweet. That would be awesome.
So everything is pretty close, so we should be able to. Let's see. There's a certain time of the year where places are more active. Do I know if there's a certain time of the year where places are more active? To be absolutely honest, Judy, I don't see that. If they're active, it seems like they're active all the time.
Yeah, there's people that claim that, but it's like, I mean, I've never really seen any evidence of that myself, that this time of year is more active than times a year. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
there's dormant spots and a lot of hauntings, but I'm thinking it's not like usually it's like a specific time of year. It seems like, or maybe I don't know.
Right. And for me, it's like, I don't know. People always say, okay, I'm getting too old to like do overnight and all night investigations. Like I'm over it, so I need my sleep.
Get in, get out, yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, we got to like get out there and start investigating at like midnight to 3 a.m. because that's when it's going to be the most active. And I'm like, bullshit. Like I can walk in the afternoon and if there's activity, there's activity. If they want to interact, it's not going to make no difference if it's 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Here's a question for, I guess, everybody out there, because myself, I've never personally seen any elevated activity at the, infamous bewitching hour, or what is it, 3 o'clock in the morning? Is that supposed to be the most active time of the year or time of the night? I've never seen I've never been to a location where that was the active time of night. I mean, has anybody ever like been at a location that just exploded at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, you guys let me know. And I mean, and again, this is just my opinion, and maybe because I can visually see them, it's not like I have to go and like wait around at 3 o'clock in the morning and hope for the energy to be the strongest at that time. Because I will say, 12 to 3, when I do investigate those times, the energy does seem to be stronger. But for me personally, since I can see the spirits, it doesn't matter if it's strong or not. It's going off me, so I'm able to see them. So for me,
for you, huh? Like, nah. This place ain't happening.
Right. Patrick says, how about we do a chartered bus trip to a state near California, maybe Arizona or Nevada? A bunch of us investigating some big time haunted locations. It would be fun, socializing and spooks. Zach Baggins needs to get a tattoo called Attachments Available. I love you, Patrick.
Good idea.
That would be a lot of fun. I mean,
that would be
for sure. Yeah, and we for sure, could go, for us that are in California and you're in Oregon, like we could get people that we could all, like go to like Nevada, because there's lots of stuff out there to investigate.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there.
We'll have to see.
That I'm really looking forward to, going out there and, checking out.
Yeah, Dave's talking about Pennhurst State Hospital. So, I've heard a lot about Pennhurst. I've never investigated. I haven't investigated really anything on the East Coast.
Now, what does everybody think about over internationally, like locations like Leap Castle or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, locations like that. That would probably be my number one bucket list location, because since I first started, that's the location that I've always wanted to check out. That and Hunadora Castle or Dracula's Castle would be kind of fun to go check out, I think.
Jackie said a trip with all of us sounds great. I think it sounds like a lot of fun too. Dee says also the Overlook Hotel. It was beyond awesome. Now I've never gone there, so I'm not sure about that. Um, Jackie says she's going to the Queen Mary in San Diego in June. Girl, I need to be going with you. Jackie says I'm with you. No overnights for me. I'm just getting too damn old. Like again, if I can go in, I have gone to some very, very haunted locations, like literally in the afternoon, and just went up into the attics or into different rooms, and we've got stuff. So as long as I think a lot of people, think that late at night is good because you don't have so much interference with like background noise, different things like that, because everybody's asleep. But shit, I know I can do it. I don't care.
If the place is active, they're all. I mean, you seem to think they're always there. I mean, so it can happen anytime. Like I've worked at haunted locations that stuff happened during the day constantly.
Yes, absolutely. If anybody wants to know about the Bel Air House, you can go to Bel Air House LLC, from the one's a groundskeeper from Ohio, the goat.
Nice.
Yeah, Caroline is saying too the same thing, that anytime, it really doesn't matter for her. She doesn't see a difference. Melody said she would go on our little trip, so that would be, again, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Jackie says Penhurst, the third floor is freaky. I had a guy come up to me and ask, "Will you be my friend?" Oh, that's not creepy. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, you serious?
That's
huh?
exactly what I want. Yes, I need to have Jackie on the show for sure. Right. Oh my gosh, our hours.
These spirits can't get restraining orders on people, because.
Right, our hour is almost up. Well, we're gonna go a little over tonight because I want to. We talked about, well, only because again everybody listens to the show and they've heard a bunch of my stories. But let's talk about some of your scariest locations that you've investigated.
Scariest locations. Okay. All right. I would have to say, one of the most intense, most crazy locations I've ever been to is, I sent you some of the audio from it tonight, is a location, unknown location. The ruins of the ghost town Liberty Bond, the supposedly cursed town that is way up in the middle of nowhere in Washington State, and it was abandoned back in the early 1900s. And it took a while for people to find out where this was, because there's nothing left of the town, and it's a big mystery of why they abandoned it. And we went out and investigated it, and that was a good one, a really good one. Some of the most insane activity I've ever witnessed. I mean, yeah, probably the most insane that I've ever witnessed and documented.
And where's that located at?
It's in Washington State. It's way up in the middle of nowhere, basically. It was established in the late 1800s. The town wasn't it, and it was a logging camp when they used to go out and log in the middle of nowhere. And the original name of the town was Mill B. There's a Mill A that still stands, but it was the second location, and it was thriving. And for reasons unknown, they abandoned it back in the early 1900s. And there's all these legends about it being cursed and all this. And I tell you, there's something going on up there. Definitely something going on. It was.
Well, that'd be kind of cool to check that out too. I mean, I got a lot of family up there, so.
I've been up there a few times and camped. One investigation we camped overnight up there, and every time it has not disappointed. Yeah, it's great. It'd be definitely a good one if you go up and get some thrills out of it. That's a good one.
All right, so got that one. So what were your second?
Number two would have to be, there's a historic library, another unknown location that I investigated. Oh shoot, 20 years ago probably, and it also documented some of the most insane activity. Whatever was there would talk out loud, like you didn't even have to record audio to hear what it was saying, and it just did some crazy stuff. And then I kind of messed up, and it came back home with me, and kind of made me have a few bad days, but it's a location that's absolutely off the charts, and I know it's still haunted, crazy haunted, of course, and that would be the second one. I mean, insane. I mean, just whatever's there, I don't know what it is for sure, but it's it's not something common. I guarantee that. And
Interesting.
third location. Third location.
Good
Okay.
night, Jeff. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I will definitely get a hold of you to get you
Been
set
fun.
up to come on the show.
Been fun. Third location. Let's see. Third location would have to probably be Edgefield Manor in Troutdale, Oregon. That's a good one. So
What's it called?
Edgefield Manor in Troutdale, Oregon. It was a it's one of the McMinivans properties that they buy up. They hold a lot of like concerts there. There's a big amphitheater and stuff. It was a poor community back in the day where they made people that couldn't afford to make it on their own. They put them in a little community and they kind of took care of themselves. And there's a jail, the old jail on the property, and there's all kinds of stuff. But it was shut down for like 30 years. And while it was shut down, before they bought it, there was some satanic rituals done in one of the rooms, and we stayed the night in that room, and it was insane. It was another one that did not disappoint.
Oh wow!
But yeah, there's let's see, fourth. And like I said, these, I mean, it's hard to pick five because there's been a lot of them over the years. Like the one we did 2 weekends ago was good too. It was pretty good. Never a boring moment really in some of these investigations.
Yeah.
But fourth, let's see, fourth would have to be, I would have to say fourth is Oddfellow Cemetery. Yeah, the Dalles, Oregon. That was one that was insane. There was the phenomenon that was a violent phenomenon where that was actually assaulting people in that cemetery, and there was a statue. Like, I mean, I thought that the whole thing about moving inanimate objects was BS, because I don't believe in that kind of stuff unless I actually see it and document it. But there was this angel statue, and I have a video of this. I'll have to send all this to you ahead of time because we documented this really like extensively. The statue was moving and would become animated, and it's just weird. I mean, it would look like its face would get like almost like rotten, and it'd get like these big stains on the front of it and stuff. And we set up tripods with cameras and actually filmed this thing like becoming animated. It was crazy. So that was probably number 4. And
That's weird though with the whole statue thing, because I'll tell you that I had a case where I had a private case, and a couple had they had all kinds of stuff actually in their house that was haunted. It had attachments, but they had these 2 statues, and one of them I didn't feel anything with at all. It just seemed like just a clay statue. That's it.
Right.
The other one now, that was completely different. That one, immediately when I picked it up, I immediately started seeing like a massacre of people being killed and fire and all that. I mean, to the point that I literally had to put it down.
It's like an old artifact or something like.
We don't know. So they looked as if they had come from like South America somewhere, Now, the client had said that she had a professor who had looked at it or whatever and told her that, they were very valuable, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So originally she didn't want them. She wanted them out of her house, but then it changed, and then she found out, or she thought that they were worth some money. So immediately then she changed her mind. Yeah. Then instead of her wanting us to get rid of them, she wanted us to find somebody who would buy them, or she finds somebody, but she wanted me to find somewhere to store them basically until that time, because it was creating so much havoc in her house that she didn't want it there. And I wasn't going to take it with me. We went to a couple universities, but if you can donate things like that, but they were even saying to even know, if they were worth any money, you would have to do carbon dated testing on them.
Right.
And again, I didn't feel like they were worth any money, but I definitely felt there was an attachment. But I felt like the whole money thing came up as a way to keep them from getting rid of them.
Right.
So eventually we couldn't find anybody who would take them. So they wanted me to take them. So I did. And then I started having all kinds of issues at my house.
Right. Right.
So, um,
Yeah. When
I ended up,
I used to bring
well, I
items.
ended up putting them in a storage, and so I had them like for forever. Um, and then like after a year, I had put in the contract like that after a year, if they didn't find somebody to buy them or somewhere to take them, then I was going to get rid of them.
It's going to Goodwill.
And
No.
that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what I did. That was where all of the rumors back in the day came up about how I had stolen haunted statues from a client that were worth $300,000 each, and I had sold them on the black market, and I was living underground, living off this money. I was like,
Creative, aren't
you
they?
know,
Creative.
my life is so exciting. You have no idea. When it comes to social media, like if I had a quarter of, I mean, an eighth of the stuff that they think
Yeah.
that goes on in my life, I'd have an exciting life, but it is
Yeah.
absolutely not like
And
that.
too bad it's not.
um,
Yeah. Too bad it's nothing like that in real life, huh?
right, right.
Yeah.
Patrick says scariest place I've ever visited was my house. I had crazy activity there years ago, but it calmed down. Still minor things happen. He says I remember that. Oh, yeah, Patrick was back there. It was following me back in the days. I remember that case. Those statues look like they were from ancient West Mexico. People
Oh,
need to stop looting from ancient sites. They have no idea the things that can happen. And, absolutely. And again, we had no idea. I mean, it was very expensive back then to try to get carbon dating testing, and you could
yeah.
get it done at the universities, but if they were going to do it, they wanted to keep it. They don't want to just do it for
It
you.
reminds me of something
Um,
that they had. They had a an idol from Mexico that was it was like a Aztec idol. It was about this big, a little statue. It looked like a skeleton. It had an oversized head, and it's kind of like sitting in a fetal position. And all kinds of weird stuff happened to them when they had it in their house. And when I was by myself, I used to take items that were like supposedly cursed in just as like experiments, into my house and see what happened. And sometimes nothing happened, and sometimes there's some stuff happened, but I put myself through the school of hard knocks, when I first started doing this, just to see what would
Me
happen.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I had those statues, I also had some haunted dolls from another private case that I had, and another private case we had a Ouija board that they wanted me to get rid of. And mind you, I don't mess with Ouija boards. I hate dolls. And damn little statue wasn't no better because when I set him down, I put him to the side and he was kind of creeping me out. So I turned him away from me. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to the client and one of my investigators like looks like super messed. She's like, and I'm like, what? And she's like, can I talk to you for a minute? And she's like, you did turn the back, that statue, the back was facing towards you, right? I said, yeah. She said, can you look over there right now? And that thing was looking straight back and nobody had touched it because we were all just sitting in chairs talking to the client.
I would love to
So
bring that Annabelle doll in my house and just hang out with it for a while, see what happens.
not me, not me. I don't want anything doll related. I grew up
What would happen?
like,
It would be
no,
fun.
I don't. I will never do dolls. I don't want to go see haunted dolls. I will, if I get a case that has haunted dolls, I'll find somebody else to go and take the case. I hate it. I was literally
My thing
tormented
is,
as a child.
I want to like go into these really infamous places, like in Europe and stuff. These legendary, dark locations. Just see what's in there. I mean, just go in there and
Yeah,
see these super haunted items and just hang out with them for a while and see what happens.
stuff like that, going to super haunted locations or items would be fine. Like I have no problem with haunted items. I have problems with haunted dolls. I also don't like clowns, which is one of the reasons I've been invited a billion times to go to the clown motel
Yeah,
and stay and investigate.
that's just
No,
wrong.
I'm okay. No, I'm not going. I'm
Whoever
good.
did that, whole thing about the clown motel. I mean, that person is twisted. They need some help.
Well, I mean, I've known a lot of people that have gone there. A lot of them have got really good evidence. They've had, a really good time. But Christina's not going there. And I mean, people have dared me. They've tried everything they possibly can do to get me to go there. I'm not going. It's
Well,
just
like
like I'm not going to go in the ocean and
what
swim
about the
with
island
a
of
shark.
Dolls in New Mexico? What about that location? You've heard of that, haven't you?
What place?
The Island of the Dolls in Mexico.
Absolutely not. No.
I mean, have you heard of it though? You've heard of it,
Oh,
right?
I've heard about it. I would definitely. If people, again, on the show, people used to always say, "Oh, you should go to the Haunted Doll Island." Absolutely not. I am not going nowhere where there are dolls. I can promise you that is
The dude that had to
guaranteed.
live on that island, the dude that started putting it together, It's like, man, I mean,
Yeah.
what a cheery place, man. What a cheery place to hang out.
I mean, I'd rather go like to, like go to China where they got like the suicide
Oh, the forest in
forest.
Japan, yeah, that's what I heard is crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem going there,
No,
but
there's no location that I wouldn't go hang out in. I mean,
well, you're better than me then, Chad, because if we ever get a haunted doll thing, then I'll send you and
yeah,
you can video chat me
yeah,
remotely.
yeah. Skype, I'd be like, well,
That's right.
I kind of get the doll thing now.
Yeah, no, there will be no dolls for Christina. I will also not swim with the sharks. I'm actually will not
Sharks,
get in
I
the
agree
ocean.
with the sharks. The sharks, yeah.
I don't
There's
even get in the ocean.
well, there's a
I
Columbia
don't
River,
go. I don't go on cruises.
and it's really deep, and and I always, whenever I've been in the river, I've always thought about what's underneath you. You can't see. There's
I've
some
had
weird,
things touch me in the river, which is
yeah,
again why I don't get in the water anymore. Unless it's a swim. I love to swim, and if
right,
I can see like the bottom of in
yeah,
a pool, absolutely.
especially
Yeah,
when there's
no. Too many
especially
things that
when
can
they
touch you.
there are like sharks that come up to Columbia now. I guess like North Bonneville Dam, which is quite about 40 miles from here. There's a shark eating seals right below that dam, like a great white shark. People were out there fishing and filmed it. So now there's like sharks and stuff come up the river. It's crazy.
Well,
Like,
I just told you the other day that the other thing I hate is alligators, and that's why I stay in California and everywhere else is
yeah,
my no-go zone.
here.
But then they just had a damn news article like 3 weeks ago, and they found a big 10-foot alligator that was in the river. Somebody was letting go in the river out here in my town because they got it as an exotic animal and it got too big, so they released it. Like,
Yeah,
just
Florida,
like,
those places where the alligators are native. It's like the things don't just like hang out in the wild. They're like in your backyard, in your pool and shit.
that's too close for me. I don't care. I'm gonna have to move out of California soon. They're invading me.
Go out to
Judy
and
says,
fight an alligator off.
right? Judy says, I have a doll that looks like the original Annabelle.
Oh, like the raising
Well,
ant.
the question is, Judy, is it haunted? Because I could see you having a haunted doll for sure.
I was watching
You
this
know
show
what?
about the real Annabelle. It's kind of funny because when they were transporting it from the wooden box to another box, I guess the dude had like these orange or these yellow dishwashing gloves on when he was moving in. It's like how does that work with the demons anyway to wear those dishwater gloves? Does that protect you or?
Maybe they're demonized,
When you
repelling
that,
gloves.
it's, the ones that come up to your forearm. Does that make a big difference there? Or,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like if something is so possessed and that it needs to be contained,
right, right.
in a case, right?
Or if I get loose and kill
There
somebody.
should be no reason that you would ever take it from that case.
True. And then you get something that haunted, then you let people come and see it for a fee. It's like.
Well, right. But if you open it, then like, what's the like? What you just gonna
Right.
put it and contain it? Like, stay with the doll, or I'll put you in the other case. Well, you know what?
That's what I don't understand.
I'm gonna reach out to either Tony Sparrow or Chris.
He was the one that had the gloves on. Tony was.
I was gonna say I know because
That I want to know.
they're family. So and they've done a lot with the dolls. So I'm gonna definitely check with one of them and have them come on the show because I've always wondered that, because again, I also saw Zach Baggins when they were doing let him investigate with that. And he touched the doll and all of that, and they took it out of the glass case. I'm just thinking, so what's the point of having a place to contain it?
Did Zach have the dishwater gloves on? Did he? When he handled it?
No. They were like they had Tony in the other room watching over the video, and they kept warning him, don't touch it. And then of course Zach's like, oh, I just feel like I have to touch it. I'm just feeling compelled to touch it. And then touches it. Oh my God. And then of course all hell's gonna break loose. But gotta love television.
Dude, if I ever, he probably wouldn't even let me step foot in his museum. He probably would never let me in there. But if he does, I'm gonna open the Divot box.
You know what?
We're gonna open it up. Like, come on, man.
I have no, again, I have no interest. I have no interest of going. People always say, "Oh, when you go to Vegas, are you going to go to see Zach's Haunted Museum?" Absolutely not. I'm not paying that kind of money to go and see that. No, absolutely not. I'm okay. I mean, I can live vicariously through other people.
If you're not freaked out by that kind of crap, it's like, how is he? I mean, what would he do? I mean, well, look in the mirror. Okay, I'm looking in the mirror. All right, man. Sit in the chair. Okay.
He just has a lot of haunted, artifacts that I'm sure are also mixed in with a lot of BS stuff as well for looks.
Getting afraid though, it's like, oh man, but what? Yeah. Crap, I mean, he probably would have a meltdown. He wouldn't know what to do. So.
Yeah. Well, he probably has a paper up on thing. If you see this girl, do not let her in my establishment. But that's okay. That's okay, Zach.
I'll go and see if I can go through there.
We're good. All righty, everybody. It looks like we are out of time. I want to thank everybody who has joined us tonight for all of your interaction. It's been a great show. Love when you guys interact. If you have somebody that you'd like for us to bring on the show, or if you have some interesting experiences yourself in the paranormal, or anything actually in the paranormal, it doesn't have to be a haunting. You could have, UFO sightings. You could be an abductee. You maybe saw Bigfoot or a skinwalker. Anything that happens to be under the phenomena of the supernatural. I want you to get a hold of us so that we can go ahead and, get you on the show, because I love those kinds of stories.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Fun. I mean, yeah, there's so many different topics in this field that we can dive into. Especially if anybody knows the answer to the yellow gloves. Come on.
Yes. I need somebody to find out the answer.
Gotta find that out.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for all of you that showed up tonight. You guys are amazing. Week after week, you show up. The audience is larger and larger each week. So we appreciate you, all the support, the shares, and the interaction. So we will be back next week. Let me pull up so I can let everybody know who our guest is going to be for next week. Where is my calendar? Hold on. There it is. All right. So, oops. So that was all right. All right. So we are on the 30th. So next Sunday. Oh, we have Matt Warner from Warner Paranormal. It's going to be a good show.
Nice,
He's been all over the place. He's been doing events. He's been putting events on. Be a great show. Great show. Yeah, all right, everybody. Again, make sure to, you can always send us messages if you have questions. And again, anybody that you'd like to see on the show, as well as any topics that you'd like us to cover, give us a shout out and let us know. All right. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you.